Welcome to Yogaroo Online, and in this practice we are going to focus on the standing poses. So particularly great for this time of year. We're in January at the moment. Standing poses, pressing down into our feet and really finding our foundation, our connection to the ground, in order to warm up the whole body by activating all the muscles of the legs, and also just to help you to feel strong in your everyday movement and to feel kind of really sturdy on your feet, your connection to the ground and confidence in how you move around in your everyday life. When you feel really steady and you feel that your legs are kind of the proprioception, or your ability to kind of react to situations or to move around things. So a huge benefits to standing poses. They help you build focus, they build heat, and they build stamina. They are very energizing. So there's loads of different reasons why we'd focus mainly on our standing poses, which we do for a lot of our classes. The body of the work is standing, and for very good reasons. Now we will, each week we're going to start, we're going to focus on a different family of poses within this session. We're in session 6 of Move and Restore here. So standing poses starting this week. So we will start on all fours as usual. And we'll start to link into the breath now, and then we'll come up to the feet and we'll kind of press into the ground and find our foundation from the feet. But we're going to start in our cat-cows in order to kind of just start to work around warming up the hip area there. Okay, so we'll start with our cat-cows again to warm the spine. So inhale, belly softens down towards the ground, the gaze comes forward, and exhale, lifts your spine up towards the ceiling. Press your hands, the tops of your knees and the tops of your feet into the ground. So again, starting to build this connection to the ground. Inhale, the belly softens down towards the ground, and exhale, lifts your spine up towards the ceiling. Okay, you continue moving there through your cat-cows. I'll just see, a little bit chilly today. I'll see, can I manage without long sleeve top so you can see what my spine is doing in my cat-cows. Okay, so come back to your neutral position there now. We're just going to do a bit of a side twist. So you're going to walk your hands forward. You're going to thread your right arm your left arm underneath your right arm there, and reach it through. Let that right elbow bend there. So you're going to bring that left shoulder down towards the ground, maybe even the side of your head down towards the ground if that feels comfortable for you. So we're looking for a little bit of a twist here and a little bit of a warm up for the shoulder. And we'll go straight to the other side. So press into your right hand, plant your left hand down, thread your right arm now underneath your left arm, and bend that left elbow to bring you down towards the ground. You might not be all the way down towards the ground. Just feel that twist, a bit of an opening through the rib cage on the right side there. Just feel a nice stretch through the respiratory system there, starting to wake up the lungs. Press into your hands again to bring you up to all fours. Now we'll start to work through the hips now. So just bring your knees not quite together, but a little bit closer than hip distance apart for balance. On our inhale, we're going to reach that right leg away there, lengthen through the spine here again, just to resettle the spine. And then exhale, you're going to lift that right leg up. So we don't want it to come any higher than hip height, because that means we'll bring it into a little bit of a back bend there. So hip height is your max, or even a little bit lower. Now really feel the strength of the back of that hip there. Squeeze the back of that glute there. The outer hip, maybe even hugging that right hip a little bit in towards the midline. Let's stay here for 2 more breaths. Press that heel away. So really flex that foot now. That'll give you a nice stretch through the back of the heel there. Martha, with your plantar fasciitis, that would be great for you. So really press out through that heel there. And then we're going to bring that foot down towards the ground. This is our inhale, and now we're going to flow through it. Exhale, press the foot just up to hip height, press the heel away from you. Inhale to bring the foot down, touch gently the ground. Exhale, lift the foot up again, press the heel away. Then bring that foot down, come down to the knee, and we'll do the same on the other side. So you really want to keep those hips level as well. So if you need to just have a little look under when you have the leg lifted, But then do bring your spine back to a neutral position again. Inhale here, and then exhale, gently lift that leg off the ground. Press out through the heel there. Really squeeze through the back of the hips, that left glute in particular. Hug the hip in towards the midline. In fact, even hug that right hip in towards the midline too, just in case it starts to jut out to the side there to compensate for the lifting of the leg. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, press the heel away, and exhale. Nice length through the spine here. 1 more inhale and an exhale. Bring the foot down towards the ground. Now we're going to flow through it. This is our inhale, and then exhale just to hip height or lower. Inhale brings the foot down. Exhale to lift it up. Press the heel away. Inhale to bring the foot down, and exhale to lift the leg up. Bring that leg down again now. And we'll come back to our right-hand side again. Make sure the knees are kind of a little bit closer than hip distance apart for balance. And we're going to lift that right leg away now. This is our inhale here. Remembering it's just kind of hip height or a little bit lower. Now for our next exhale, we're going to bend the knees. So just bring it to the point where the foot is facing up towards the ceiling. That's the end range, or it's a little bit less if that's too much for you. And you're just going to lift the knee up and press the foot up towards the ceiling. This is going to be our exhale, but we'll stay here for 2 breaths here. Again, hugging those hips in towards the midline, maybe even activating that left hip and cinching it in towards the midline a little bit more. And then the right hip cinching in to meet it. 1 more inhale here and exhale. Feel the strength in the back of your leg there. Feel the heat building. Now we're going to keep the leg lifted. All we're going to do for our inhale is lengthen the leg away from you. Move really slowly here. The slower you move, the more muscle activation and heating you're doing. Inhale here, and then exhale, bends the knee again. Press the foot up towards the ceiling. I'm going to do 2 more of them. Inhale, reach the leg away really slowly. Slow your movement down as much as you can now. And exhale, bring the foot to face up towards the ceiling. As you press the foot up towards the ceiling, see, can you lift the knee up a tiny little bit more, but keeping that spine neutral. 1 more time. Inhale, press the foot away. And then exhale, foot up towards the ceiling. Bring that right knee down now. Feel the heat you are building in the back of the hips there. I certainly can feel something going on there. And we'll lengthen our left leg away now. This is our inhale. Exhale, you're just going to bend the knee. Make sure that you're keeping the leg lifted. The foot is pressing up towards the ceiling. The foot is really flexed here. Hug that right hip in towards midline. The left hip to meet it. Maybe have a little look under. Make sure those hip bones are level with the ground here. And this is your exhale. We're going to inhale, lengthen that leg away from you. Keep the foot really flexed here. And then exhale, flex the knee. We'll do 2 more of them. Inhale, lengthen the leg away. How slow can you make it now? The slower it is, the harder it is, the more strengthening it is on your legs and your hips. Exhale to bend. We'll do 1 more. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to bend. And then bring that knee down. Okay, let's swap over to the right side again. And what we're going to do is exhale. I'm going to demo you on the left, and then I'll do the opposite side the next time around. You're going to flex the foot and bring the knee out to the side. This is our exhale. And then inhale, I want you to rotate the whole leg to bring it back up to that position where the foot is up towards the ceiling. So what we're looking for is this lovely rotation of that huge big ball and socket of your joint. So coming out to the side on your exhale, and then inhale, you press the foot up towards the ceiling. So let's start with the inhale actually. So this is our inhale, and then the exhale rotates the whole hip out to the side. And the challenge here is to see how high you can keep that leg as you rotate it. Now there will be a little bit of opening of the hip here, but try and minimize it. So, you know, the intention is to have those hip bones facing down towards the ground, but they will open a little bit as you bring it out to the side. Okay, we'll do 1 more of them. Inhale here, and then exhale, rotate the hip out to the side. Bring that right knee down. I'm going to move over to my other side now. I did my left because I was mirroring you. So we start with the leg lifted, the foot flexed up towards the ceiling. This is our inhale. And then exhale, I'm going to rotate the whole hip out to the side. And it's like I'm just trying to draw a line as high in the air as possible with my knee. Okay, and then inhale, the foot up towards the ceiling. And exhale, the knee is the highest thing, hopefully. Or it's not the highest thing, but it's the thing you're kind of reaching and exhale it out to the side. One more time. Inhale, lifting, keep the knee high, and exhale, rotating the hip out to the side. Coming back to all fours again now. Let's just take some circles with our hips, maybe do some figure eights with our belly button. You're drawing a figure eight with your belly button on your mat there. So circling around and then changing direction if you can. Just bring a little fluid movement. Doesn't matter if you're getting confused in your directions. Okay, so we're going to start making our way up to standing position. Come up onto the fingertips, step that right leg forward, taking it slowly now for our first one, and just remembering this is our how we get up and down that we are going to build as a blueprint into our practice. Doesn't matter what age you are, what stage of life you're at, it's important to have a way of getting up and down off the ground that it's so ground into, it never becomes an issue later in life. Tuck the toes under on your left foot, lift the left knee, pour all your weight forward on your front foot, step that left leg forward, fold down, inhale, press into your feet, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, so let's just do a little bit of foundation awareness here so that we really find our connection to the ground. So it's like we're kind of growing little roots through our feet into the surface beneath us. And even though you most likely are standing on a floor in your house or something like that, think what's below that. So think that you, even though you're in this lovely containment of your house, you are standing on the earth, you're standing on the soil, you are connecting to the earth underneath you. So grow your roots into the ground there. Let's even lift the feet up, all 10 toes, and place them down one at a time with as much kind of spread through your feet as possible. I always think of this as like a little, it's almost like a mini cheat. You're trying to make your feet as wide as possible, because in reality, there's such a large amount of us that are being balanced on these tiny little surfaces of our feet. So we're trying to make them big, and we're trying to build these little suction pads onto our feet so that we can really feel grounded throughout our day and, of course, throughout our practice. Okay, so let's just trace through our body from our feet up. So press into your feet. So remembering it's the big toe mound, the little toe mound, and the center at the back of the heel, pressing down into your feet, both feet equally. Maybe even just go from side to side and feel, can you get a nice equal press between both feet there? And then stacking above that. So knees stacking over ankles, hip bones, bring the tips of your fingers to your hip bones, make sure they are level, stacked. And your chest nice and broad, your shoulders stacked and softened. Let the shoulders roll down your back here. Arms gently externally rotated, lengthening through the tip of the crown. Maybe just have a sense of a slight, ever so slight, of a chin tuck there, which gives a lovely length through the back of your skull there. Great for headaches. Okay, I'm just going to come to the top of my mat now. So what we're going to do is going to come up onto the balls of our feet in our inhale, and we're going to exhale down. I'll actually demo it from here. We're going to exhale down with our hands in prayer position. So inhale, reach the arms up high and just come up onto the balls of your feet. See, can you find your balance? And then exhale, press the hands down the midline in prayer position, okay? So tricky, just go really slowly and see, can you get your balance? So really using all the proprioception, and you'd be amazed what is working through your body, all the muscles of your legs. Your core will help you to balance here too. So cinch your waist in, draw your navel in towards your spine here. Let it help you balance. Inhale, reach the arms up high, coming up onto the balls of your feet. And then exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. And we'll do one more of them. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position, slowly as you can. Okay, for our next one, we're going to inhale, bring our hands into prayer position. We're going to inhale, lifting the right leg up. And then exhale, you're going to bend that left knee and just bring the right leg back and tap it behind you, okay? Now we're going to do 3 rounds of them. So inhale, lift that right leg up, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, bend the left knee a little bit, tap that right leg behind you. One more time. Inhale, lift that right leg up. Again, remembering the slower you move, the more the muscles have to work here, and you're really working out how to balance. And then exhale, bring that right leg back, tap it behind you. Bring the right leg down, press into it, find your grounding. Same thing on the second side, lengthen through the spine. Inhale, lift that left leg up, keep the foot flexed, and exhale, little bend in the right knee, bend down really slowly, find your balance, and tap that left leg behind you. Inhale, brings it forward and up, cinch the waist in, use the core, and then exhale, tap it behind you. And the last round, inhale, lift that left leg up, flex the foot, and exhale, tap behind you. Okay, for the next one, we're going to kind of bring a little bit more of that movement that we did when we were on the mat or on all fours. So again, you can have your hands in prayer position, or it might help you to have your hands on your hips there, whatever gives you a little bit more balance. So I'm keeping my left leg straight, and I'm just going to lift that right leg up, find your grounding here. So the challenge is, again, to keep that knee up as high as possible as you reach the leg back and you reach the foot back behind you. So I'll show you from the side again. So it's inhale, lift that right leg up, and exhale, see that knee, see how high you can bring it. You might need to bring a little bend to that left knee to bring it up, and you're going to bring it behind you like that. So it's this rotation movement again, where the knee comes out the side and then it rotates down and presses the foot back up. So just getting some lovely fluid movement through that right hip there. We'll do 3 rounds of that. Again, we're working with the hip here. So, and we're warming up the legs. If you need to hold on to something, don't worry about that. Just come over to something to help you find your balance. Okay, we'll still get the nice warming up through the hip. Okay, inhale to lift, exhale as high as you can, bringing it out to the side, bend the knee, and then keep it up if you can, or bring it down in between if you need to regroup and find your balance. Inhale, and then exhale, bringing it out to the side, press the leg back. One more time, inhale forward, and exhale, lift it knee, and pressing it back. Okay, bring that right leg down. We'll do the same thing on the second side. I'll show you from the side again. So I'm inhale, I'm lifting the leg, I'm keeping everything flexed, and then I'm rotating the hip. I'm opening it out to the side, so it's opening here, and then it's rolling in. So it's opening and closing as I press the foot back. It's opening up and coming forward and closing, and opening up and coming, rolling through. So it's rolling in and out. And last time, lifting and exhale, pressing it back, and then coming to standing position. Okay, we'll start our first standing flow here. And we're going to start with one of our heel lifts. Okay, so inhale, lift the arms up high, coming up onto the balls of the feet, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. We're going to lift our left leg up because we want to start our whole flow with the right leg forward. This is our inhale, and then exhale, reach the arms back, step that left leg back, and find our way into arrowhead. We're going to flow through arrowhead in a standing position. So we're going to inhale, straighten that front leg, reach the arms up high. So your feet are hip distance apart here. So make sure that you have a good bit of balance there by keeping the feet nice and wide. And then exhale, we're going to reach the arms back and find our way into arrowhead again. Okay, we're going to flow through that. So inhale, reach the arms up high, press into that front foot now, straighten the leg if it straightens. And then exhale, bend the front knee, reach the arms back. Keep the chest nice and open here as well. Last time, inhale, reach the arms up high. Remember, moving slowly will really challenge that front leg there. And then exhale, bring the arms back again. Okay, we're going to press that, we're going to ground that left foot down now. And we're going to come into the same kind of a flow with the hips squared to the side of your mat now. So we're going to straighten that front leg. And our hips they're kind of working towards being squared. They're not going to be totally squared. So we're going to start off in this position here. Hips to the side of your mat there. My right leg is forward. This is our inhale. And then exhale, we're going to bend that front knee. So coming into our warrior pose. Have a little look down. Make sure that you might need to creep that right leg forward if that left or if that right knee is overshot it. And also make sure that you're really squeezing into the back of that right hip there so that the knee is kind of staying in line with the ankle there. So we don't want it tipping in and we don't want it coming out. Okay, so squeeze the outer hips. The inner groin is usually the thing that will pull it in. So make sure that it's keeping in line with its ankle. And we'll flow through that. So inhale, let's reach the arms up high here. And exhale, bending that front knee. Smooth movement through that front knee there. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, bending. Last time, inhale, reaching. And exhale, bending. Okay, our inhale here now is this position. We're going to start in our warrior. And then our exhale, we're going to straighten that front leg and tip the whole pelvis forward any amount. Maybe bring that right hand down to the right knee. Okay, inhale is our warrior. And then exhale, straighten that front leg, tilt forward, feel that lovely stretch through the hamstrings. And then last round, inhale into our warrior. And exhale, straightening that front leg, squeeze into the back of that hips there. Just keep a little bit of containment in the hamstring. And then coming back to our warrior again. Okay, we're going to tilt or we're going to come up onto the ball of that back foot, find our way into arrowhead again. And then we're going to swap over to the left-hand side. So step that left leg forward, maybe even lift it up. And exhale, bring the foot down again. Okay, and we'll do the same flow on the second side. So inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Inhale, this time I'm lifting my right leg up. And exhale, I'm going to step back with my right leg, making sure that my legs are nice and wide on my mat there into arrowhead. Keep that chest nice and open. So our inhale is where we straighten that front leg and reach the arms up high. And then exhale, coming back to arrowhead. So sweep the arms back, bending that front knee. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, sweep the arms back, bend the front knee. Last round. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, bending the front knee, reaching the arms back. Okay, you stay where you are. I'm going to flip to the back so that I don't have my back to you. The next round is where we have grounded that back foot. We've opened our hips up to the side of our mat now, making sure that we might need to creep that front knee forward if that front knee, that left knee is overshooting the left ankle, or you might be up a little bit higher, just depending how your hips are feeling today. We're going to start with the front knee straight, so left knee straight. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, look at your left knee now, make sure that it's tracking over the left ankle, coming into our warrior. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, bending that front knee. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, bending. Now check in with yourself before our next flow. Check in with those 3 points of contact with the ground, with the front foot and the back foot. So just take a moment to spread your weight equally through front and back foot again. Find those little suction pads on your feet. Press into the ground, grow those roots. And for our next one, we're starting in this position. And then exhale, we're going to bend or straighten the front knee and tilt forward over that front leg. Inhale into our warrior. And exhale, straightening the front leg and tilting the whole pelvis. Let the whole pelvis rotate over that left leg there. And last time, inhale into our warrior. And exhale, straighten the front leg and then lengthen. It's like you're lifting yourself out of your pelvis to find the little bit of movement in the pelvis to tilt forward over that front leg. Bring the left hand down to the left knee. And then make our way back into warrior position. We're just going to pivot over to the front of our mat now. You stay where you are. It's just readjusting and coming back to our arrowhead. And then you're going to step that right leg forward, maybe even lift it up, flex the foot, and exhale, bring that foot back down again. Okay, we'll start into our second flow now. We're going to inhale, come up onto the balls of the feet again, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Inhale, lift that left leg up again, flex the foot, and exhale, step that left leg back nice and with control, rather than just landing back. See, can you land really gently, landing back into our arrowhead. Okay, so this time we're going to start with this. We're going to bring our hands into prayer position. Our inhale is going to be where we're going to bring that right knee down either towards the ground, an inch or two off the ground, or just bend it a little bit, just depending how your legs are feeling today. This is our inhale. And then for our exhale, we're going to open that whole hip out to the side. So remember this action. So come up nice and high on the ball of that left foot there and swing that left knee out to the side. So the higher you on the ball of that foot, the easier this action will be. And again, it's this lovely opening rotation in the hip socket that we're doing there. Okay, so that's our 2 movements. Bring the feet nice and wide. It doesn't matter if you're at a slight angle with your goddess pose. So this is our inhale here. The knee comes down to the ground, and exhale, pivot that a whole hip out to the side. Hips come down, both knees bend, lengthen through the spine for our goddess pose. Inhale, that left knee comes down towards the ground. Or sorry, this is our, inhale. And then exhale, pivot that whole leg out to the side, exhaling into our goddess. One more then. Inhale, the left knee comes down towards the ground, and exhaling all the way around to open up, flatten our ground, both feet down, and find your goddess pose. Okay, and we're going to come in and out of goddess pose a few times now. So just make sure you're nice and grounded there. Both feet are nice and sturdy. You're equally distanced from the hip there, and hands in prayer position at your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale, squeeze the back of those hips. So really use your glutes, the back of your hips there, as your brakes as you come down really slowly towards the ground. Inhale, reach the arms up high, and then exhale brings you down towards the ground again. Or letting the hips dip. They're not going to come anywhere near the ground. That's not what we're aiming for. And then exhale, coming down, letting the hips become heavy. Okay, and then inhale, reach the arms up high. We'll pivot it to the front of your mat again. Exhale, hands either side of that, or reaching back into our arrowhead. Inhale, lift that left leg up now, hands in prayer position, flex the foot. And then exhale, place that left leg down. Okay, so we'll do the same thing on the second side. Inhale, reach the arms up high, come up onto the balls of the feet there. And then exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Inhale, lift the right leg up now, flex the foot, and exhale, step that right leg back to arrowhead, arms reaching back. Okay, so I'm going to flip around. You stay where you are, just making sure you can see me. I have my left leg facing forward now, or bent. And then our starting position, we're going to bring the hands in prayer position. Our starting position is with now that right knee bent, any amount. So if you want to get more challenge into your legs, we'll come lower to the ground, but don't let the knee hit the ground. So the lower I'm coming down towards the ground, the stronger I'm feeling it in those hips and the legs and the front of the quad there. This is our inhale, and then exhale, I'm coming up high on the ball of that right foot, and I'm going to bend both knees, nice symmetrical pose coming into our goddess pose. And we're going to flow through that now. So inhale, the right knee comes down towards the ground, and exhale, I'm opening that whole hip. Make it a real sweeping movement with that knee to come into your goddess. And one more of them. Inhale, the right knee comes down towards the ground, and exhale, sweeps that right leg out to the side, coming into our goddess pose. Okay, stay in your goddess pose now. Just, make sure you're nice and equal left and right now. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Inhale, reach the arms up high, press into the feet, find those 3 points of contact with the ground, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we're going to pivot forward to the front of our mat now, lift that right heel off the ground, find your way into arrowhead. And on your next inhale, lift that right leg up, flex the foot, hands in prayer position, and exhale, step that right leg down. Okay, we'll do one more little flow before we come down to the ground for the restorative part of our practice. And we'll do kind of a little flowing one coming in and out of the poses. Let's see, where are we going? Okay, we'll start again with our leg lifted. So inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Okay, we're going to lift the left leg up now. Inhale, lift the left leg up, and exhale, step that left leg back and find your way into arrowhead. Inhale for just one breath now. We're going to straighten that front leg, reach the arms up high, and then exhale, find our way into arrowhead again. We're going to inhale, we're going to ground that left foot and straighten the right leg. Bring the arms up to shoulder distance, shoulder height. And then exhale, bending that front knee, creeping that right leg forward if you need to make sure that the right knee doesn't overshoot the right ankle. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And then exhale, come down to your warrior again. For our next inhale, we're going to come into reverse warrior. So the left hand comes down to the left thigh and the right arm sweeps up and over. And then exhale, we're going to sweep the arms forward and come into the other side. So we're bringing our right elbow down to our right knee. Reach the fingertips up and over. Inhale, reach the arms up high again, straighten that front leg. And exhale back into our warrior. Okay, we're going to do one more of them on the same side, and I might even slow it down a little bit and give you 1 or 2 breaths in some of those poses. So we started here in our warrior, and then we inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale back into our warrior. Inhale, let's take 1 or 2 breaths here. We're going to hinge over to the left side. So continue to breathe here as you let the hips drop down towards the ground, remembering to squeeze the back of that right hip there. Make sure that the knee isn't falling in beyond the ankle point. And you're reaching your fingertips up and over. So feel that lovely stretch through the right side of your chest there. Inhale, reach both arms up again. And exhale, this time we're going to bring the right elbow down to the right knee and sweep the left arm up and over. So really feeling that lovely stretch through the left side of your lungs now. Press strongly now into that left foot. Find those 3 points of contact with the ground. Feel a lovely bit of the skin stretching over the bones of the hips there on the left-hand side. Fingertips reaching, maybe not letting them collapse. Maybe they're reaching up towards the corner of your walls there, the ceiling. Okay, and then inhale, reach both arms up again, front knee straight. And then exhale, pivot over the front foot and find our way into arrowhead. Inhale, lifting that right leg up, flex the foot, or left leg up, and exhale, stepping that left leg down. Okay, we'll do the same thing on the second side. So last flow, inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. Inhale, lift that right leg up now, keep the foot flexed, and exhale, really slowly and gently step that right leg back, find your way into arrowhead here. And then we're going to inhale, straighten that front leg, and exhale back into arrowhead. I'm just going to come to the back of my mat. You stay where you are. We're in arrowhead. We're going to inhale into our warrior. So you're opening your hips up to the side of your mat there, maybe just creeping that left leg forward a little bit. So your left leg is forward. Your back leg is at a kind of a 45 degree there, arms nice lengthened out. So like you're trying to reach them away from you. Soften your shoulders, even though your shoulders are working to lift the weight of your arms. See, can you soften them and not have them up around your ears there? Okay, we come into our flow. So inhale, we'll flow through it once with the breath, and then we'll do a little bit of pausing. Inhale, reach the arms up high and straighten that front leg, and then exhale into our warrior. Inhale into our reverse. So right hand comes down to the right leg now, left arm reaches up and over. And we come straight into our exhale with the left elbow onto left knee, right arm reaches up and over. Feel a nice stretch through the right side of the chest there, ground through that right foot. Inhale, reach both arms up high again, and then exhale back into our warrior. Okay, we'll do the same flow, and we'll just pause a little bit in those 2 middle poses to find a little bit of opening through the chest, really reinvigorating the lungs there. Okay, so inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale into our warrior. Inhale to reverse. So right hand comes down to the right leg and continue to breathe here. So really press into that right foot, press into the left foot. Really feel a lovely opening through the grounding down through your feet. See, can you reach up through the fingertips? So feel the connection to the ground that's helping you to reach. So the more you connect to the ground, the easier you can find the reach because it's got something to ground it and reach from. So feel that lovely opening to the left side of your ribs and your respiratory system there. And then we're going to come through our straight leg. So inhale up the leg is straight, and then exhale, left elbow to the left knee, right arm reaches up and over. And continue to breathe here. See, can you pour a little bit of weight into that right foot, because it all feels like it's in the left foot at the moment. See, can you press into that right foot? Through that grounding, reach through the right fingertips. Feel that lovely opening through the right side of the chest here. And then we're going to inhale, reach both arms up again, and exhale back into our warrior. Take one more inhale here. Exhale, pivot around to the front of your mat there, reach the arms back for our arrowhead. And then inhale, step that right leg up, lift, and then step the right leg down. Okay, so we're ready to come down to the ground now. Let's take just one or two moments to find your Tadasana, which is where we started through our standing flow. So lift all the toes up and place them down on the ground there. Really notice the difference between now and when you started. So can you really kind of more tactilely, if that's a word, feel your connection with the ground? Can you feel the little, sticky mat, the little grooves on your sticky mat, the texture of the floor or your mat underneath you? Can you feel the kind of more open through the chest? Can you feel the lovely fluidness through your spine? Or do you notice anything? Or maybe it's just as simple as you're not as cold as you were at the start of the practice. Maybe all these other things are not something that you can feel, and that's fine too. So just notice, is there any difference between the start and the end of the mass? Okay, so we're going to come down to the ground and we'll come down through our standing flow. So inhale, reach the arms up high, coming up from the balls of the foot, and exhale, hands down, and then keep going. So bending forward. Let's bend the knees as well and just let the arms hang forward there. Pour all your weight into your right foot, and then pour all your weight into your left foot. Press down equally through both of them. Bring your hands down, or bend your knees enough so you can bring your hands down to the ground, and then just come back to a kneeling position. Okay, so we're just going to do a little bit of movement through the hips here before we come into our restorative. So all I want you to do is, let's start with Tadasana, so staff pose. Tricky pose, like it's basically, it's just seated, but for most people, and me included, it's hard because the back of the hips there are quite tight from, habitually maybe sitting for a lot of your day. So this upright position is actually tricky. So bring your hands behind your back there and encourage those pointy hip bones to rotate forward. And for most of us, forward will mean just to get them upright. Most of us, the pelvis just wants to sag back. And this brings a lot of curving to our lower back there. So we're encouraging it to come forward and up. And that might mean that you need to bend your knees a little bit, and that'll just take it out of the back of the hamstrings there. So pelvis nice and tall there. And actually, let's bend the knees now and let the pelvis tilt back a little bit. We're just going to windscreen wipe the legs. So fingertips can either be facing towards your hips or facing away from you, just whatever feels comfortable through your shoulders there. And we're just going to inhale here and exhale, just let the knees drop to the left-hand side. Come back up to center on your inhale, and exhale, drop the knees to the right. Inhale back up to center, exhale left. Inhale back up to center, and exhale right. Okay, and then we're going to come all the way down to the ground. So make sure you have your props nearby to you, and maybe even put a layer on. I'm going to put my long sleeve top back on. We're going to come into the restorative part of our practice now. So, socks on, layers on, make sure that you stay warm. You will cool down very fast when you come to the restorative part of practice. And what we're doing now is we are assimilating the practice and kind of knitting it all together and giving you the best possible way to let this work on your nervous system. And the nervous system, as we know, is the key to all health. So a healthy nervous system is great for the immune system, particularly this time of year. Okay, so we're going to come all the way down to the ground, keep the knees bent. We're going to take constructive rest to start with. So just bring your feet mat distance apart, let your knees knock in together, palms facing up towards the ceiling. So this is the most economical way and the kind of kindest way for your back as well, with the knees bent and the knees knocked in together means that You don't have to use any of your muscles to kind of hold the legs up. They're just kind of looking after themselves. So just take a moment here to just kind of take a deep breath and get ready for mentally and physically for the restorative part of your practice, where you are like, you're still working hard. You're still really kind of, because for a lot of us, restoring and relaxing is actually even more challenging than the movement part. So you're still doing lots of work here for your wellness. Okay, so get your breath nice and smooth. And really feel your lungs expanding on your inhale and contracting on your exhale. I really notice, like we did some nice, stretches there through one side and the other side. See how it feels to symmetrically open the lungs and let them retract. Okay, we'll take it into a star stretch from here. So just let the legs come out, lengthen across your mat, and have your legs mat distance apart and your arms reached overhead, mat distance apart too. And stretch through your left toes and your right fingertips, so coming to a diagonal stretch through the body. And let that just kind of crawl back to midline, back to center, and then stretch your right toes away and your left fingertips away. And then let that just come back to center. Let it kind of just itself come back to the center point. And then let's stretch through all the points. Fingers, tip, toes and fingers, everything's stretching away. And see kind of your belly button as being the point that they are all radiating from. And then let them just gently recoil back to center, almost like a starfish. Okay, and we're going to get ready now to come into our first restorative pose. So if you roll over to your right side and come up to a seated position, and just have a look up at me while I show you how to set up our first pose. Okay, so you're going to need your bolster or your pillows or whatever it is you're using as your prop, and have lots of blankets if you have them. Great to have them around you. Because you definitely, it gets kind of cold this time of year. So have one blanket at the top of your bolster there. So I am sitting with my left hip up against my bolster and have like about an inch or two between you and the bolster, because as you tip over your bolster, you want a bit of space to be able to recline over it. Okay, and then just have your next blanket, your second blanket here. We're going to put that between our legs, okay? And you can roll it up or you can just fold it up. What we're doing here is we're just trying to get a nice bit of a relief for the hip there. It just depends what you're looking for in your practice. We're looking for a gentle practice today. So we want to kind of have the hip almost coming out of its hip socket. So a different way to approach it, if you wanted kind of a stronger opening through the hip, is to have your leg with the left leg fully bent there, and the right leg fully bent with the kind of the left foot on top of the right knee there. And as I come down, as you see, obviously it makes sense that there's a little bit more opening through the hip here. And now that's one option for you, but the way I'm going to teach you today is have a blanket in between the knees. Start of January, let's ease ourselves into this. And I'm going to place both knees on top of the other. And that way, this leg, this hip, is coming out of its socket, so there isn't as much of a stretch on that top hip as I come down. Okay, so up to you which version you're looking for. So either way, we're going to take an inhale to lengthen through the spine. And as you inhale, start to roll your chest forward over your blanket or over your bolster there, so you're ready to come down. Take one more inhale to lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, really mindfully coming down vertebrae by vertebrae. And what you're looking for is to center the bolster through, so the ridge of the bolster to center through your whole spine there. And for women, you're hoping to come down in between the flesh of the breasts there. Okay, and then as you come down, your gaze is going to be to your right hand side. I'm going to stay up on my chin here just so you can continue to hear me through my AirPods, okay? But you're going to be on your left cheek with your gaze to the right.
Okay, so again, if you've got more blankets, I'd put one over your legs, maybe, just as a little nod of appreciation for all the work that they've done for you today. So let's just start to mellow out now in this lovely restorative prone twist. And notice your breath, always coming to the back to the breath for the restorative part of our practice, as a way to anchor you into the idea of allowing yourself to rest. And feel maybe in the breath in the back of your rib cage there. And can you even feel, maybe, can you feel your shoulder blades spreading a little bit with your inhale and then coming back together on your exhale? And if that's just not working for you, even just feel the idea of the back of the chest lifting up into the air and then coming back down again as it expands and contracts with your inhale and your exhale. Now feel the lovely, secure, comforting prop underneath you, your bolster, and lifting you up that little bit off your mat and just making it easier on the spine, a little bit easier on the hips as you take this lovely twisted prone pose. So you can maybe even walk the elbows out and maybe even back a little bit, just in any position to make sure that the shoulders haven't hunched up around your ears there. And getting ready to come over to the second side now. And gently press into your hands there to lift yourself up. Move nice and slowly now. And then all you're going to do is literally sweep your legs over to the other side. You can keep your blanket in there. Now you're going to just rotate your legs over to the other side. I'm going to change my whole arrangement so that I don't have my back to you. So you're going to keep your blanket, your bolster exactly where it is. Okay, so now you have your right hip up against your bolster, or just about an inch or two away, and you're going to have your blanket in between your knees there, and just nestle the way that I knit my feet together is I kind of push the top of the left foot into the arch of my right foot. So these little kind of very particular little alignment cues, it's more just kind of ways to show you how to knit things together so that when you come to lie down, there's no muscle tension there holding the legs in space. Okay, right, so let's take our inhale and lengthen through the spine again and rotate over your bolster there. Have your blanket ready for your head. Taking your inhale and then exhale, just gently bringing the spine down vertebrae by vertebrae. And this time you're coming down onto your right cheek, so your gaze is to your left. Now again, just on this second side, let's observe the breath and just notice. Can you feel that little bit of movement through the ribs, the back of the rib cage there? Can you notice the shoulder blades opening with your inhale and gently coming back, and just everything, the body in constant little gentle movement through the breath. So taking some nice deep breaths, but keep them, almost not naturally deep, not forced a deep breath. It's more like a breath observation. Now, in your concentrating on the breath, have you brought any tension of concentration to the muscles of your face? So just check in with your forehead, your temples, the muscles around your eyes, and make sure that they're still nice and soft. And remembering that little tip as well, just make sure that you walk your elbows out a little bit. Maybe you walk them back a little bit, or just do anything with the position of your elbows to make sure that those shoulders aren't creeping up around your ears there. Okay, and get ready to move again. Now press your hands into the ground and gently lift yourself up. Be nice and careful with your spine there now. And then just bringing your blankets out to the side there, pop your bolster to the end of your mat there. We're going to just do a little bit of a leg raised pose just before we come into our Shavasana, just as a way to kind of bring the blood, reverse the blood flow in the legs again, as soon as we've done quite a leg practice. Okay, so we're going to keep usually this is called Stonehenge and the bricks are up nice and high. We're going to keep the bricks low for this one, just to make sure that your legs feel like they're nice and connected to the ground there, are not in any way going to fall off your prop. You're just going to bring your 2 bricks underneath your blanket or underneath your bolster. I have them on their lowest height there. Make sure there's a little bit of gap in between them there so that they're not too close together. Okay, and then pop your bolster on top of that. And all you're going to do is just simply bring your legs over, or kind of what you're looking for is kind of just the top flesh of your leg there. So we don't want it to be too far up on it. It's this part of the leg up here, about that part on top of your bolster there. And again, it's nice to maybe pop a blanket over your legs there, and just come down to a lying position. Palms facing up towards the ceiling. And maybe just lifting and lowering the shoulders there, maybe tucking the shoulder blades in a little bit to keep the chest nice and open. And just see, do you notice anything happening in the legs there? Can you feel a kind of a draw of the blood back down towards the abdomen region, where we're playing around with the reverse of the blood flow and helping the valves along? So taking gentle inversion, and strictly speaking, inversions are where the heart is lifted above the head, but certainly these kind of poses where the legs are just gently raised will absolutely help the circulation and the kind of detoxifying the body. And again, all these things that we do that help our immune system along, and just anything we can do that can help the immune system around this time of year is of great benefit. Okay, we're going to get ready now to move into Shavasana. So all we're going to do is gently sit yourself up there and just throw the bricks, or gently remove, you don't have to throw them, the bricks out to the side there. We're going to take a Shavasana with the bolster underneath the knees there, and maybe you can lengthen your blanket out so that it's covering more of you. And I'm also going to give us an option for the Shavasana, for our Shavasana is a neck roll. So if you haven't done a neck roll with me before, just bring your blanket into a 4-fold there. So that's just a blanket folded in 4. And I'm going to take the short end of it. I'm going to roll the blanket up, and just once or twice. So what we're doing is we're making a little neck roll that's just going to fill the space between our cervical spine and the ground. And we don't want it lifted in any way. We're just trying to kind of fill the gaps. So coming down to your lying down position, and maybe just nestle the curl, the curled or the rolled blanket there underneath your neck. And it's really important that you're not lifting that part of the spine at all. You're just filling the gap, and maybe you can nestle it around your shoulders there as well. And you can also make a little head wrap where you take the edges, this edge here of your blanket, and you tuck it under, you roll it under and roll it all the way under. And then you take the top bit here, you can see, and you tuck it under and roll it under, so that you're kind of creating this little cocoon around your head there. Okay, roll the palms up towards the ceiling again there, a little bit of space between your arms and your body. And what can be nice as well, and maybe don't disturb yourself this time round, but what can be nice as well is if you can feel it a little bit on your lower spine there, is to lie down, have a blanket on top of your mat for your restorative practice. So popping a whole blanket along your mat, just a little bit more softness to the back of the spine there. So constantly coming back to the breath. And another little area that I love to come back to is those little muscles around the eye sockets and the skin across your forehead, as a way to just check and see, am I actually allowing myself to relax, or am I just subconsciously holding lots of tension in my body? And I kind of know that when I guide those muscles in my forehead, in my eyes, and my jaw, I feel the rest of my body following its good example. Gently getting ready to come back into your day. And in your own time, rolling over to your right-hand side. And just taking your time to come up to a comfortable seated position, maybe even straddling the bolster or sitting on the bolster, just whatever feels comfortable. Use those props. Hands in prayer position at your heart. And just taking a moment to be grateful to yourself for turning up on your mat today, start of a new year. and for the little bit of time that you've invested in yourself in self-care. And you've worked through standing poses today, and you've really built your strong foundation and your connection to the ground, and built some real heat into the biggest muscles of the body. Comes to your third eye, to your heart center, and namaste. And thank you for practicing with me.